Let's get to our top stories this morning. What happened in Minnesota on June 14th continues to send shockwaves across the country.
That night, what appears to be a politically motivated attack at the homes of two lawmakers were carried out. State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette both shot and survived. Representative and Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark were killed.
Vance Belter is the man that authorities believe committed these crimes. He has pleaded not guilty. Today, a special primary election is being held to choose the DFL candidate for Melissa Hortman's seat. Representative Hortman had a major voice in the legislature as she was the Speaker of the House.
Let's check in with our Barrett Leone outside a polling location where there will be several other races to vote on as well. Barrett, break this down for us.
Well, today here in Brooklyn Park, voters will narrow down the list of DFL candidates that they want to see on the ballot next month in that special election. So in all, there are 4 candidates with their hat in the mix, 3 Democrats, 1 Republican. Again, this is the seat in Brooklyn Park for the late representative's former district. For DFLers, voters will pick from current City Council member Christian Erickson, Hennepin County Prosecutor Erickson Say, and former Brooklyn Park City Council member XP Lee. The winner, again, will square off against Republican candidate and real estate agent Ruth Bittner, who is running unopposed. Some context, though, for this district. Melissa Hortman won the district in 2022, was reelected in 2024. She served 11 terms in the Minnesota House since being elected first in 2004. But this district has been a blue seat since the 2018 election, representing parts of the northern Twin Cities metro, including Brooklyn Park, Coon Rapids, and Champlin. State law dictates the seat must be filled before the next legislative session. So this special election, again, will be held next month, September 16th. Polls open in a little less than an hour, close at 8 o'clock tonight. And of course, like you mentioned, there are other races happening across the state. We'll break down another key race we're keeping an eye on in St. Paul coming up in about a half hour.
Thank you, Barrett. This morning, St. Paul is still recovering from a cyber attack.
And now we know hackers have released more than 40 gigabytes of data after the city refused to pay a ransom. Now, most of it came from the Parks and Rec Department, and the city is still working to get systems back online. That includes launching Operation Secure St. Paul, where 3,500 employees will get their devices checked and passwords reset. And the city will offer full-time, part-time, and seasonal employees credit and identity theft protection for the next year.
I've got my computer, and now I'm going to go home, and tomorrow I'll be able to work just fine.
In a statement, the FBI special agent in charge says he's grateful the city of St. Paul acted quickly during this incident. Quote, in this case, we were able to utilize the FBI's unique authorities to identify the cyber criminals with the hope of providing relief to the victims.
New this morning, we got some video for you. Multiple crews are on scene in a fire in Maplewood. Take a look at this. In addition to Maplewood, North St. Paul, Oakdale, and White Bear Lake fire departments all responding to this. This is at the loading dock at WR Medical Electronics. Our crew on scene says it looks like the fire is contained and the sprinkler system is going off now. They also say large fans were being used to push the smoke out. We're going to continue to get more information on this throughout the morning.
Turning now to international headlines, because the UN Secretary General is calling for an investigation into the killing of journalists in Gaza.
Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, condemned the killing of journalists by an Israeli airstrike. He's calling for a, quote, independent and impartial investigation into these killings. A UN spokesperson also highlighted warnings yesterday from the World Food Program, which has said that they have seen an acute malnutrition that is spiking in Gaza. According to the Gaza Health Ministry, 5 more people have died due to malnutrition in just the past day. Meanwhile, as the war in Ukraine continues on, President Trump is getting ready to meet with the Russian President Putin, in Alaska this week.
Now, President Trump has called Friday's summit a, quote, feel-out meeting, where he says he'll be able to tell in minutes if Putin is serious about peace with Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he believes Putin plans to play up Friday's meeting as a victory. He also says new intelligence shows Russia could be planning for more military attacks. President Trump has said he plans to speak with Zelensky after his meeting with Putin.
For the first time in U.S. history, police in the nation's capital are under federal control, and President Trump says he's not stopping there. He plans to deploy hundreds of National Guard troops to the city this week.
Now, it comes as the president claims there's a spike in violent crime in D.C., but the city's mayor is pushing back with data showing crime has actually dropped 26% since this time last year.
While this action today is unsettling and unprecedented, I can't say that given some of the rhetoric of the past, that we're totally surprised.
White House and congressional sources say that the controversial move is expected to last about 30 days. The president is also threatening to expand his crime crackdown to other U.S. cities. In Pennsylvania, 2 people are dead and at least 10 are injured following multiple explosions at a steel plant.
Yeah, so just before 11 a.m., first responders called to the incident at the steel plant, and now recovery efforts are over. All employees are accounted for. While there are several secondary explosions, those did not cause any major injuries. U.S. Steel issued a statement saying, in part, quote, "Our top priority is the safety and well-being of our employees and their environment." They went on to say they're working closely to investigate the cause of the incident and will provide updates.